So step 3 is you're relearning new ways of intimacy.
Oh, okay, I like that.
Now this is where you're kind of talking about the porn and what we think we understand.
There's going to be a whole business for that in the next 20 years, teaching this generation. Okay.
Yeah. So in the sense, like probably in 2007, I gave a talk at the World Congress of Sexology.
Yeah, right.
And my studies were on the bringing Eastern philosophical concepts into Western clinical practices. So my studies were actually done on how Tantra can actually work with clinical and therapeutic processes. So that developed into a whole clinical tantric program in itself. So
I love that, a clinical tantric program.
Yeah.
Because when we look at Tantra, we're not just talking about sex, we're talking about neurology, neurochemistry, we're talking about biology, biochemistry, and consciousness and awareness, which fundamentally affect everything.
Yeah. Exactly. So in the sense of when you compare something like Tantra with the porn that you're seeing or your friend is seeing.
My friend.
Yeah.
Not me.
So when you compare the two, totally different ball games.
Yeah.
So it's like compared to as in...
No pun intended. You are full of the puns. You're great. I can tell you're a sexologist.
So in the sense of, it's the difference between, riding, a scooter to riding a Harley kind of thing. It's completely different ball game. So you're kind of learning these processes. A person can technically have, we're in Australia, so, the adult industry is legal here. You know, there's pretty, So you can have access to sex anywhere.
Yes.
But you can't have access to a higher state of, like a peak performance experience or the highest place that Tantra can get you to, the state of ecstasy, with just anybody either. You can't, no matter what anybody says, you can't go buy a tantric experience.
No.
You can't go pay $200 or $500, however much it costs these days, and say, give me a lingam experience and I've gone off into the heavens. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. It's a process. It takes time. And if you don't clear all of this stuff before you get to that step 3, and you're doing that with your partner, you're doing it with the person that you want to grow with. You know what I mean? So what will end up looking like outside the rest of the sexual experiences that are out there is you're going to be like, well, that's all right. That can stay where it is. I want this experience.
Because it's like unmatched.
Because it's unmatched. There's no way of...
Because most people treat sex like it's a race to the finish. Like it's who can orgasm first or, get their needs met first. Whereas real intimacy, especially when we look at it in the tantric experience, is about achieving those altered states, those higher level states that actually is the abstinence of orgasm in many cases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, depending on which lineage you want to take, the Hindu or the Buddhist lineage. And there's so many different ways to it. But when you're looking at it from a psychotherapeutic point of view, things like premature ejaculation, you've got, so many different factors with relationships that hold on to different ways of experiences within the intimacy. Tantra seems to be a nice, quick, easy entrance to to the leveling up your intimacy.
I'm not sure if she's hitting on me or if she's doing this unconsciously. That's very good. Either way, I'm loving it. Okay, relearning intimacy. And again, we've already discussed neuroplasticity. The brain has this immense ability to rewire itself. Intimacy is something that's been wired into us through, in most cases, what we've learned, as a result of step 1 and step 2. Yeah. Where do we start? Do we go out and do a course of Tantra?
You can do that. You can go out and do a course on Tantra. You can go out and do... There's so many different ways of learning things. You've got the Taoist methods. You've got Anangaranga. You've got Pillow Book. You've got Kama Sutra. You've got so many different Eastern schools of thought that can teach you different ways of intimacy. But fundamentally, it's just... exploring, taking your time, and knowing that the place that you want to get to is a state of peak transcendence with your partner. It could be working through all of the negative experiences that you may have had in the past when it comes to sexuality. But the feeling of fulfillment. And then this is the problem that's happening, is that we just don't feel fulfilled. You can have many, many kind of crazy sexual experiences, but the fulfillment level isn't there. Like how you were mentioning before, it was the 30-second, what the teens were doing in that movie. But it's not fulfilling. They're going to just keep on doing it until they think, all right, cool, I'm kind of over this phase. But it's not a fulfilling experience in itself. Whereas once you experience multi-orgasmic states, for a woman, a man can experience, male multiple orgasm. You can have ejaculation. You got so many different places you can get to. Nothing else kind of compares, especially when you're doing it with complete total connection with the person that you marry or you want to be with for the rest of your life, or you plan to be. Or
does this work in an open environment?
In an open relationship? Yeah. as long as there's, like how I said, as long as there's intelligence behind it.
Yes.
You know, this is the key thing to it. You know, you have to have open communication. It's got to be designed. It's got to be planned. It's got to be worked on, not just, hey, I feel like I feel like
an instant hit.
Yeah.
Which again is going from race to the journey, you know, and it's not the destination, it's the journey.
Yeah.
Which is so true in so many aspects, whether we're talking about relationships or we're talking about life or health, but most important when we're talking about sex as well. And this is something I can relate from my own experience. Like, there is something incredibly rewarding about not requiring orgasm, by being able to have sex for, you know, an hour and a half, and at the end of it not feel like that you have to orgasm in order to complete the mission.
Exactly, and that comes to step 4.
There you have it, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Unstoppable with me, your host, Kerwin Rae. And please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you get to see all of these interviews in the flesh. Share this podcast with your friends. I would love to hear what you guys think. Thanks for joining us.